guy shouting to me, I'm out in China, Beijing, and I've just done a triathlon. Not the whole thing, to be honest. I've done the swim, I've done the bike, and now I'm doing the run section. I've got 5k, and I'm running up and down. I'm just coming around the final corner, and that's where the grandstand is, and the audience. And they're shouting, "Come on, Steve!" And I can't help but smile, because it lifts me up a little bit, and I run faster. But then I also think, that while I'm smiling, I can't get the oxygen in. So I think, okay, stop smiling, just concentrate on what I'm doing. And I look ahead of me, and then I see it. That thing that I've been working towards, my goal, the finish line, up ahead of me. I start getting a bit nervous now. I'm thinking, okay, don't smile, don't be nervous, keep running as fast as you can. I'm running as fast as I can, go across the finish line, across the finish line, yay! And I punch the air in time, and I immediately turn to the audience, and I salute them with my fists. And as soon as I cross the finish line, this official comes up to me, and he gives me a medal straight away. In fact, the medal here. Oh, medal here. So he put this around my neck straight away. I thought, wow, that was quick. Did I win? Is it gold, silver? What colour is it? And it's got some writing on it. And I thought, okay, but it's all in Chinese. I can't say Chinese. So I turned it over and it's got some more writing in English. And it says Finishers Medal. Oh. And I look around me and everybody's got them. Everybody's got a Finishers Medal. But then I suddenly realised that I was hugging this medal really tightly. Because it meant so much to me. Not only was I representing Great Britain, and not only was I out in Beijing, and not only had I done a triathlon, which is amazing in itself, but 9 years before this photo was taken, I was told that I may never walk again. And so that's the journey that I'd like to share with you today. But it's not about me, apparently. You guys, but not just you at the back, you at the front, in the posh seats up there. Everybody, I want you to start thinking about what your goal is. What's your goal, as I would call it? What's that thing that you really, really want? Yes, you've achieved amazing accomplishments today. Well done. What's next? What are you going to go on to achieve now? And you supporters, you've done so much. What about yourselves? What are you doing for yourself? I want you to think about what's that thing that makes you nervous? What's that thing that makes you excited inside? What's that thing that when you think about, you get excited and you can't help but smile maybe, just a little? And why not? Because that's what life's about, surely, is to be happy. So while I go through my presentation, I want you to think about the messages I give out and how you can adapt them and adopt them and use them to propel yourself forward as to whatever is next and what your goal is. But before we carry on, I want to get some calibration on the applause, because there's 3 levels of applause. I think I've heard quite a variety today already, which is good. But the level 1 for calibration is very polite one. You might get this as the cricket ground. Okay, it's like a pitter-patter of rain, pitter-patter of hand. So we're going to practice that after 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's very polite. Lovely. I've heard that one. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to raise it a little bit to a bit more up-tempo, a bit more effort into it. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, level 3. You know what's coming. Level 3. I've heard this already. Amazing. And I've heard from Michael. So level 3. I really want you to let go all your inhibitions. That's called the golden buzzer. And you can whoop it out. I know you're not a you can whoop if you want and applause. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right. Okay, very good. Need to show off. Right, okay, so I also want to some audience participation. You at the back, the graduates. When I say, later on, I can hear the crowd shouting, I want you to shout with me, Go GB. You up for that, yeah? So we're going to practice that. So I can hear the crowd shouting, Go GB! Very good, supporters at the front, family and friends. Yours is the next one. So it's going to be Come on, Great Britain. So I'm also going to say, I can also hear the crowd shouting. Okay, so we practice that. After 3, 1, 2, 3. Come on, Great Britain! Very good. Hi, up there. Are you okay up there? Yeah? Okay, so, Sheena, are you up there? Hi, Sheena. Yeah. I'm talking to Sheena about her goals and about what she wanted to achieve later on in life, and she's got some ideas already. So we won't share, you can keep that surprise. Okay, so Sheena and your crew, so I want you to do the last one. Now this is very, very personal to me, so don't muck it up. Okay. This one is Come on, Steve. Okay, you ready for this? 1, 2, 3. Come on, Steve! Excellent. Okay, so now we've got that established, we shall carry on, because it is actually all about me. So, I love to run. I've always loved running. This was me when I was 10 years old, doing the Retford 10K. I'd run anywhere and everywhere. I'm the one on the left, the good-looking one. That's my brother on the right. Running was one thing. I went to Hayfield Comprehensive School. Anybody from Hayfield? With a lovely brown uniform there. So I went to Hayfield Comprehensive just down the road. And then I also I was scouting. So I was the scout that used to take the badge book home. I used to flick through that badge book looking for the next badge that I wanted. And then I would ask for help from my mum, my dad, or the scout leader. And they would actually help me to work towards my goal. I did it for the fun, the challenge, the adventure. I also did it for life skills and opportunities. Now, when I left school, I worked down the pit. I worked down Morby Pit, that was my pit. I worked in Bentley at Cementation Mining, and I came to Doncaster College. And that's where I studied mechanical engineering. I achieved my HMC. And I remember coming here today, it was just amazing. So I used to be at the water there before I got knocked down. I saw the library. The library means a lot to me. Because much as I came on day release, I had information overload on that one day release. And I used to spend my evenings in the library studying over the revision notes because my goal was to achieve, to graduate. And I knew what I had to do that. I had to put the time and the effort in, as I'm sure you can all appreciate. So I carried on with running in my young adult years because I love to run. That takes me up to 2002. I was driving on the outskirts of Sheffield, and my car lost control. There was a bit of water on the road, and my car skidded, and it just took. There was nobody else on the road. I wasn't speeding. There was nobody else in the car. And it just skidded to the side, and it went off the road, and it bent into a post, and it bent the car in half. And in that crash, both of my legs got crushed. I couldn't get out of the car, and everybody came to save me. The ambulance, the paramedics, the police, fire brigade. And it took them about over an hour to slowly cut the car apart piece by piece, eventually reach in and grab me out and my legs. And they put me in a nearby waiting ambulance. The ambulance mercy dashed me to the nearest hospital, which is the Northern General Hospital in Sheffield. Now, I remember the ambulance trip very clearly, to be honest, because the other two guys in it, called Steve and Steve, I remember them saying, "Are you okay, Steve?" I said, "Yes, Steve." "Right, good, Steve. We're going to go very fast, Steve." "Okay, Steve." "Yes, Steve. That's good, Steve." "And we're going to go very safety, Steve." "Okay, Steve." "Right, Steve." "Yes, Steve." "Right, that's good, Steve." So the Steves took me off. To be honest, I like Steves. Okay, Steves are good. They gave me lots of blood. They saved my life. Took me all the way to the Northern General Hospital. And then I met my surgeon. Now, my surgeon was Simon. I didn't know Simon. Simon looked at my legs and he says, "Okay, Mr. Judge, we're going to see what we can do, but with the injuries that you sustained, you've got to understand with your right leg, we may have to amputate it." And I just remember looking into his eyes and said, "Please, just do the best that you can." And with that, they took me into the operating theatre. And 8 hours later, I woke up, and I was feeling really terrible, to be honest. It was around this time that the surgeon was doing his rounds, and he came in to see me, came over, and he said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "I feel terrible. I feel really, really groggy." He said, "I want you to know that the operation was successful. And we managed to save both of your legs, but due to the severity of your injuries on both legs, you've got to understand that you may never walk again." I think when somebody gives you information like that, it's very much a fight or flight. With a flight being just rolling over in bed and just giving in. You know, okay, I guess I'll never walk again. And the opposite, the fight, I can remember feeling really angry inside. Thinking, how dare he? How dare he have the audacity to say something like that? I remember lying there looking up at him thinking, who are you? Who are you to tell me that I may never walk again? I mean, your name's not even Steve. So that's Steve. But he had a point. So my injuries were very, very bad. Let me try and explain my left leg. My left leg was ripped apart at the knee, so it's bent sideways. So the 4 ligaments that you got there, the big rubber bands, they're just like ripped out. My right leg was partially amputated. Let me explain with the aid of a prop. So my tibia bone was broken once, twice, leaving 4 inches of bone that was considered no good by the surgeons in the operating theatre. and consequently, this piece was thrown away. And this left me with a very short leg, as you can imagine. That's what I woke up to. Do you want to see an X-ray of the injury? If you don't want to have a look, just look away. I'll let you know. It's quite warm in here, that's all I'm thinking. And some of you are very excited. I'm a first aider, so I'll be on the lookout. This is my risk assessment, by the way. And it's not a joke. Jeez, it's happening already. Right. Okay, here we go. There's the X-ray. Okay, so you can see the 4 inches bones like that. The next slide is more graphic, so you might want to look away. This is the photo. With the cage on my leg, it was my responsibility to twist the bolts day after day after day, slowly stretching the skin and the muscle and the ligaments, and actually wrenching the bone apart to form a gap of 4 inches. And that's what I had to do. Now, during that process, there's lots of complications and rehabilitation, lots of physio. Has anyone done physio? Put your hand up, you've done some physio. Yeah, it's the most boring, painful, monotonous thing ever. I did lots of that. But the thing is, I also had this gap in my leg. And I don't know about you, but how do you grow bone? I just thought you drank lots of milk. Or maybe ate lots of cheese. And I remember the surgeon says, "No, Mr. Judge. No, Mr. Judge. No, you've got to use your bone if you want to keep it. So you've got to learn to stand on it. So you've got to walk on it. Trust the cage." I was like, trust the cage? You trust the cage? But that's what I had to do now. I live in Sheffield. It's very hilly. I needed somewhere flat. I needed to do some walking. So I found a place called Rother Valley. Do you know Rother Valley? Yeah, it's not too far away. So I was driving down there, and my brain screaming out to me, "Don't do it!" Getting out of the car and grabbing my crutches, bracing myself as I slowly put my foot down. Ah! The pain shoots through me, made me feel cold and lightheaded. Ah! Just see the people in the park, they're like, "Whoa, what's this guy doing? He's crazy." But I'm stepping bit by bit, grunting out loud, until eventually I saw ahead of me the bench was closer than the car behind me. I got to the bench, I sat down and I rested, and I recovered. And I wiped the tears away. I stopped my watch at 34 minutes. I looked at my pedometer, half a mile. It's a joke. I used to be a runner. That was nothing. I felt demoralised, deflated. I remember looking down at my cage and all the pins were bleeding. I couldn't have gone any further. I couldn't have done any more. I knew at that stage that I'd been the best that I could be. Because of that, I had no regrets. I also started feeling cold. I picked myself up, and I remember walking back to the car, grunting out loud on every single step, getting back to the car, closing the door so that nobody could see me crying. When I got home, I collapsed. That night, I had a sleepless night with muscle spasms. The next day, I was completely exhausted. The day after that, I got up and I did it all again. And sometimes I fell, and many times I cried. But eventually, I got past that first park bench and onto the next park bench. Then after that, I could see the next park bench, and I achieved that over the weeks. And around the top of the lake to the next park bench. It's a good story about benchmarking here, if you think about it. But over the next year and a half, my bone, it did grow back, and the cage was removed. And I did that by following my message of being the best that I could be and having no regrets. And I've achieved my goal. My goal was very much about getting back to normal. I suddenly realised there's no such thing as normal. I had to start thinking about what I could do, what I couldn't do. Let me explain my disabilities. My left knee, we don't talk about the left knee much, but I've got the 4 ligaments replaced by ligaments from a pig. So I've got them in my knee. I've got severed nerves, so I've got lack of feeling below my knee and lack of movement in my foot. And I feel a little bit guilty when I have bacon sandwiches. Just saying. My right leg is the right length, you know that for sure, which is good. But I've got like a calf muscle. The skin's not very good, very fragile, and my foot is, I can't move my foot much. To show you physically, on my left foot, I can just jump. It's good physio. And my right leg is, okay, I'll show you again. Okay, so there's nothing there at all. But I had to start thinking about what I could do rather than what I couldn't do. So I couldn't run anymore, but I could swim. So I swam. I got onto a bike and started cycling. This was brilliant. And somebody said to me, Steve, you're always pushing yourself, always setting goals. Have you always been like this? And I thought back to my childhood, to my youth, and I thought of scouting with the badges. I love those badges. And I found this photo of me. This is when I was 10 and a half years old. And I've got the Come of the Year award there, 500 red. But most importantly, on my left arm, are my first 3 badges that I ever got, the red, yellow, and green one. And those are swimming, cycling, and running. And that gave me the compulsion to look for a new challenge. I went on the internet and I was looking for a challenge, swimming and cycling. The only thing I could find was a thing called triathlon, swimming, cycling, and run. I thought, oh damn, never mind. And then I thought, well, maybe I could do it, but I could just walk the running section. So I scrolled down, but there's a thing called para-triathlon, triathlon for disabled people. I thought, oh, I wonder if I went down there and they did a few tests on me, gave some exercises to do, asked me lots of questions. And after the assessment, they said, Mr. Judge, you are disabled. This for me opened new doors. I had no excuses to lean on anymore. And they said, Steve, can you run? And I said, not yet. But I've got a goal now. Now I hadn't run for 7.5 years. But now I had a goal and started doing it. And I must admit, I sound like a one-legged elephant coming down the road, but I was running. So that brings us up to the race. It's up on the valley, where I did all the walking rehabilitation, meeting para-athletes from around the UK, guys with missing arms, missing legs, visually impaired or completely blind, doing a triathlon. Amazing people. So the race starts, we're in the water, the horn goes off, and we're swimming away as fast as we can. We come to the end of the swim, I come out of the swim, I get to the transition where my bike is, my bike's there, so is everybody else's, so I'm in first place out of my category. This is awesome. I grab my bike and I'm cycling along now, pedaling as fast as I can, going round the reservoir, round the valley. I get to the end, I wrap my bike, and I'm still in first place. So now I'm onto the run. I hadn't done much running, so I'm pushing as fast as I can. But as I'm running around the course, running around the park, I can see those park benches that I used to be sat down on. And as I'm running past them, I can see myself sat there in tears, in pain. And I remember thinking, that's not me anymore. I've moved on. I've moved on from that, and that gave me the compulsion to push myself even further, even faster. And I run and run, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K. I could hear the tannoy screaming out, and I ran down the final straight and across the finish line, and I became the British champion on that day for my category. Now, more than that, because on that day, one of the officials comes up to me and says, Steve, well done, you're British champion. Would you like to represent Great Britain? And I'm like, hell yeah. The thing is there's opportunities, and I speak to everybody here, especially the graduates at the back, there's opportunities everywhere. We've got to learn how to see them, to hear them, to smell them. And when we do something about it, grab hold of it with both hands. And that's what I was prepared to do. That was difficult for me. I had a full-time job in health and safety and construction, I had a family with 2 kids. I had this opportunity of representing Great Britain. So the first thing I did was I changed my alarm clock, 5:30, that was my time. I'd get up early in the morning, I'd go swimming at Ponsford and Sheffield. I'd then go to work all the morning. At lunchtime, I'd go for a run. We didn't have showers where I worked. I had a bucket and a sponge in the cubicle. Sponge myself down, then I'd be back at the desk in the afternoon, and then I'd get home, play with the kids, put the kids to bed, and then I'd be out on the bike on the turbo trainer in the garage. I was always thinking about what I could do, rather than what I couldn't do. So over the next couple of years, I set goals for myself. I became British champion again in 2010, in 2011. In 2011, I became European champion. And in 2011, I set myself the goal to become world champion. So this takes us to China, Beijing. Are you ready? Okay, this is your part now. Okay, we talked earlier. Okay, so we're in Beijing. And there's amazing meeting the para-athletes from around the world. Again, people not leaving their excuses. We line up. And then the announcement comes, representing Great Britain, Steve Judge. You're nervous enough as it is, but then you're even more nervous. You get into the water, and you're waiting for the horn to go, ah! And you're swimming as fast as you can. High elbow, reach long, push long, you press paddling. I come out of the water, I get to the transition. My bike is there, so is everybody else's. I am in first place against the rest of the world in my category. I set off on the bike, cycling now, head down, pumping my legs as fast as I can, and I'm looking straight ahead. Now, there's not much time to grab water, but I'm grabbing what I can, and there's people overtaking. The things with power triathlon, there's lots of different categories depending on your disability, and I'm not always quite sure who's in my category. So as people are overtaking me, I'm kind of watching them and looking at them and seeing how many legs they've got and how many arms they've got. I'm thinking, no, it's okay. Oh, chase that one. So I'm doing the bike, it's around 20k. I come off the bike and I wrap my bike in my transition area and there's no other bikes. I'm still in first place. So there's a 5k run. I'm running along, it's a loop circuit, so I can see the American, the French guy. They're hunting me down, they're chasing me. I'm running as fast as I can. And then I come around to the last corner and I can see the crowd. And the crowd are going around. They're shouting, "Go GB!" And they're saying, "Come on, Great Britain!" And they're shouting, "Go Steve!" And I'm trying not to smile, but I can't hold it back because it makes me go a little bit faster. And then see ahead of me my goal, that thing that I've been working towards, the finish line. And I push it, and I cross the finish line to grab the gold medal. And so, I set other goals after that, but I've retired from the international competition in 2013. With my spare time that I had, there's only one thing I could really do, and that's to go back to scouting. I'm now a Cub Scout leader, helping the new generation with their fun, their challenge, their adventure. I'm also giving them life skills, giving them opportunities. Who knows where those badges will take them? Yes, I run my own business now. As an international motivational speaker, my 3 principles are to help people, inspire others, and motivate many. And that's my goal, and that's what I'm working towards. But what about you? What's that thing that you really, really want to do? That thing that makes you excited, maybe a little bit nervous. You know, on your journey, there's going to be times when you feel like you failed. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. There's going to be times when you're struggling towards your goal. Don't change the goal. Change the plan. There's going to be times when you feel that there's barriers in your way. You're going to see those barriers as excuses. And you're going to smash through those barriers by turning those excuses into challenges. And when you're doing all of that every single day, you must always be the best that you can be. Because if you do that, then you'll have no regrets. Thank you.